Powered by Alive, by Nature's Way, distributed by H&J Enterprises, and Excel Health TT, the official supplements of the CPL.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Ask the Doctor, live on Thursdays. But if you miss us, don't worry. Encore presentations air on Friday at 11 a.m. and Saturday morning at 11:30, right here on CNC3. You can also catch us streaming on Facebook and the CNC3 website, because good health should never be out of reach. And every Friday in the Trinidad Guardian, my Ask the Doctor column shines a light on the issues that matter most to you and your family. So sit back, lean in, and prepare for a journey across the map of the human body, guided by your stories, your voices, and your courage. This is not just a show, it's a lifeline, a community, and a celebration of the incredible machine called you. Let's begin with the doctor's capsule. There was a startling medical case in the British Medical Journal, which was making headlines last week. It's a wake-up call for all of us. A fit 54-year-old runner with no bad habits suddenly developed left-sided weakness, numbness, balance problems, and slurred speech. He was rushed to a stroke clinic, where doctors found his blood pressure was 254 over 150 millimeters of mercury, so normal is less than 130 over 80. So that was dangerously high, despite him looking perfectly healthy. As one of the doctors said, that's why hypertension is called a silent killer. And we know that's the single most important preventable cause of premature death in the world. Scans confirmed he had suffered a stroke in a part of the brain called the thalamus. And even after treatment with multiple medications, his blood pressure kept rising, until doctors learned a key detail he had forgotten to mention. He was drinking 8 high-potency energy drinks every single day, and each drink contained 160 milligrams of caffeine, with a total of 1.2 grams per day, 1,200 milligrams, and the recommended safe limit is about 400, so about thrice that limit. Once he stopped his drinks, his blood pressure returned to normal within weeks, but the damage was done. 8 years later, he still lives with numbness in his hand, foot, and face. And it's a reminder that modern drinks, these type of boosters, but the energy drinks, contain dangerous combinations of caffeine, taurine, sugar, and ginseng. These mixtures can raise blood pressure, trigger heart arrhythmias, damage blood vessels, and cause blood clots or even bleeding in the brain. And we've seen serious complications more often in young people, especially when those drinks are mixed with stimulant drugs. So experts are calling for greater regulation and clearer warnings. Perhaps healthcare workers should also routinely ask patients, especially younger ones, about energy drink use. Further afield, a major new French study has revealed a troubling finding. Nearly 1 in 4 women say they experienced disrespectful or mistreating behavior during childbirth or shortly after delivery. This included being ignored, spoken to harshly, denied information, or not having their concerns taken seriously. So that's in that postpartum period. So the woman had her baby and mistreated afterwards by staff. Researchers looked at perinatal data in France and found that women who faced this kind of disrespect during that period were significantly more likely to show symptoms of postpartum depression just 2 months later. And a reminder, because that's lurking, that is a silent, separate pandemic of depression and anxiety, problems sleeping, a reduced appetite, loss of memory, a reduced concentration, a loss of interest in things that used to accrue pleasure, feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, and worthlessness, low self-esteem, and even suicidal thoughts. If you or a loved one is battling some of these clinical features of depression or anxiety, seek medical attention. There's 800 COPE or present an accident and emergency. Suicide is a very real risk. We've seen it in the last few days. And a reminder from PAHU that we are in the midst of a very serious flu season. There is a surge as well in many viruses, including COVID. I've spoken ad nauseum about this, that when there's winter in North America and Europe, we tend to see, as a result of global travel, a surge in these fever, cough, sore throat, runny nose, shortness of breath, and even admission to hospital. So be vigilant. Most patients will be fine with just fluids, rest, tender loving care, and paracetamol. But some people, particularly if you're vulnerable, you have a low level of immunity because you're battling diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, or kidney failure, you may find that you're at increased risk of pneumonia and may require admission to hospital, perhaps an intensive care unit, and indeed respiratory failure or death. If you're a young person, someone who is growing older, extremes of age, if you have increasing body weight, we saw these as multiple comorbidities or risk factors which increase the chance for death during COVID, and that holds for problems such as influenza, surging in North America, Europe, and indeed in the Caribbean. So if you're unsure, have a chat with your doctor too, and please avoid those 3 C's. Closed, crowded, and close contacts settings. It'll be difficult during another C, Christmas. And every Christmas we dust off the old classics, and few shine brighter than Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. But beyond those ghosts and the glitter, Dickens was writing about something painfully familiar, something we see every day in our clinics, hospitals, and waiting rooms. Scrooge wasn't just a miser. He was a man who forgot to see people. Tiny Tim wasn't only a child with an illness. He was a symbol of every patient society overlooks, every family struggling quietly, every person trapped in a system that treats them like numbers rather than human beings. Dickens wrote this story in the 1800s in England during a time of crushing poverty and terrible health inequalities. That was a time when sick children were often dismissed and the poor people were blamed for their own suffering. Sounds interesting, huh? About 200 years ago. Sometimes I look around and think, not enough has changed. We still have our modern Scrooges, policies that forget the vulnerable, budgets that ignore chronic illness, systems that overlook the elderly, the disabled, the poor, and those battling diseases like diabetes, lupus, HIV, or long COVID. But there's hope in the story. If we remember A Christmas Carol, Scrooge changed. He listened, he cared. He realized compassion is not weakness. It is the beginning of healing. And this Christmas, Dickens invites all of us, not just governments, not just hospitals, but each of us to open our eyes the way Scrooge finally did, to see the tiny Tims among us, to listen to the unheard, to bring light into places where illness and fear have made the world feel dark. Because the greatest miracle of Christmas is not ghosts or visions. It's the simple human choice to care. And in medicine, that choice to care a little deeper, to listen a little longer, to advocate a little louder, is sometimes the difference between despair and hope. It's time for a short break, and when we return, the Kiddies capsule is up next.
Basket Marketplace, Season of Savings, Arima, Shagona, Chamflair, and Gulfview. Lamb shoulders 3 pounds for $99. Goat 4 pounds for $99. Tyson leg quarters 11 pounds for $95. Beef ham $149.95 each. Butterball turkey $22.95 per pound. Chicken ham $89.95. Cow heel 5 pounds for $99. Creamery ice cream 1 gallon 2 for $95. Food Basket Marketplace, Season of Savings, Arima, Shagona, Chamflair, and Gulfview.
The detergent smells nice while washing, but when you use the new Downy Intense fabric softener, with its new multi-capsule fragrance, it releases an intense scent that lasts twice as long. With the new Downy Intense, you'll enjoy a rich and delightful fragrance that keeps you feeling fresh 24/7.
Ole, bring on the arm! Make it a man Foods Christmas! All over the land, make it a man Foods Christmas! The best taste in ham!
This
This year, make it a Mac Foods Christmas with D&T's favorite ham. We have pork, beef, chicken, and turkey hams, and even roasted garlic pork for the real taste of a Trinity Christmas.
Make it a Mac Foods Christmas. All over the land, make it a Mac Foods Christmas. The best tasting ham.
Make it a Mac Foods Christmas.
My man Andre.
Good night, Anthony.
7 years with the company, and we couldn't do it without Antoine.
Happy birthday, dear Alejandro. Happy birthday to you.
Who's Angelo?
We're like coworkers who don't forget your name.
I'm Angelo.
CG United. Good like that. A mortgage is what helps you turn your dream of owning a home into reality. First Citizens helps you plan for every other cost, such as insurance, maintenance, and utilities. Mortgages build equity, offer long-term investment, and give you freedom to make the space yours. First Citizens is here to help you understand your first steps to a mortgage. First Citizens.
Welcome back to CNZ3's Ask the Doctor. So each week we open this little capsule and out pops a world of surprises, fun facts, cool science, amazing stories, and those curious questions that only children dare to ask. Because when children ask why, the whole universe has to pay attention. So gather around, young explorers. This evening we're going on another adventure inside the most fascinating machine ever created, your body. So seatbelts on, imaginations open. The Kiddies capsule blast off begins right now.
Good afternoon, my name is Nisha Singh and I'm from Saraswati Girls Hindu College. Fun fact, did you know a pomegranate is a fruit long valued for its nutritional power? Pomegranates are rich in antioxidants, which help reduce inflammation and protect cells from damage. They support heart health, digestion, and immune function as it contains a lot of vitamin C and dietary fiber. Many people use pomegranates in their wellness routines. It is often said taking 4 tablespoons daily will boost weight loss, hair growth, and enhances memory. While research is still ongoing, it is clear that pomegranates should be in one's diet. This was your Kiddies capsule. Bye!
Good evening. Let's talk about sunlight and why your body needs it to function properly. Firstly, when sunlight hits the skin, it triggers all sorts of chain reactions, the most popular being vitamin D production, which helps to improve bone strength, immune systems, and even your mood. Sunlight also helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which basically tells your brain when to wake up and when to go on sleep. Now, a popular idea floating around is that just 20 minutes of daily sunlight helps trigger the body to produce natural antibiotics. While scientists are still exploring how sunlight directly affects immune activity, we do know that moderate exposure can help your body boost your immune system and fight off infections better. So the key is healthy doses, early morning and late afternoon sun, because too much UV will damage your skin. But in healthy doses, it is literally the simplest way to support your body naturally. I'm Abigail Prudhomme of Saraswati Girls Hindu College, and this is your Kiddies Capsule. Bye!
Good evening. Did you know that sleep deprivation can cause the brain to consume itself and lead to cognitive decline and memory loss? Well, adequate sleep is crucial for overall health, acting as an essential downtime for the body and brain to repair, consolidate memories, and regulate hormones, leading to better mood, focus, immune function, and physical health, while reducing both stress and the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes. It improves cognitive function like learning, memory, and decision making, strengthens the immune system, helps maintain a healthy weight, and supports mental well-being. So, always remember that the first step towards living a healthy life is having a healthy sleep schedule. My name is Siti Kalu from Saraswati Girls Hindu College, and this is your Kiddies capsule.
We say a special thank you for those pearls of wisdom from these brilliant young minds. And I know school's out, but feel free to send videos of your children discussing health-related themes to Uncle Rajiv at 800 CNC3. It would be an honor to have them as part of guests on this show. It's time for a short break, and when we return, the Medical Minds segment awaits.
Fill your slate with the best for less Christmas specials at Southern Food Basket. Swiss Chinatown noodles, 454 grams, 2 for $19.95. Goya Spanish capers, 2.5 ounces, $18.50. Goya stuffed manzanilla olives, 2.75 ounces, 2 for $29.95. Lay's Stacks, 155.9 grams, assorted, $16.95. Valentino, non-alcoholic sparkling wine, $19.95. Pear Drax, 300 ml, 3 for $19.95. With every $200 you spend, you can qualify to win a dream Christmas home makeover with over 100 appliances to be won.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
Do you also find putting on shoes awkward? Do it like me. Put them on easily without using your hands. It's like an invisible shoehorn helping you step right into the shoe. You don't even have to bend down. Just slide your foot in and you're done. Try it. Skechers Slip. Hands free.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gala Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
Hey, every Christmas Santa have one plan. To make sure he get his blue ribbon ham. Forget the rest, this is the one. The best is in her blue ribbon.
Even Santa knows a Christmas ham is a blue ribbon ham. Whether it's pork, beef, chicken, or even turkey hams, Blue Ribbon has hams for everyone.
Forget the rest, this is the one. The best is in her blue ribbon.
A Christmas ham is a blue ribbon ham. Get yours today.
Welcome back to your #1 show for news, views, and interviews of all things medical. Our guest this evening is a registered dietitian with a gift for turning science into simple, practical advice. She understands food, culture, and family, and of course, the Trini Christmas table. I like to say she's a champion of practical nutrition, a guide for healthy living, and someone who believes that food should nourish the body and the soul. Please welcome this evening Miss Nandini Samuel to our Medical Minds.
Everyone, I'm Nandini Samuel, registered dietitian, diabetes educator, and the president of the Health and Nutrition Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Our favorite time of the year is quickly approaching Christmas. And today I would be speaking about some holiday eating tips that you can follow during this time. The first and most important point is to remember to stay hydrated. Hydration can actually help to curb hunger and avoid you from overeating later on. And this could mean at least 6 to 8 glasses of water during shopping, and during a very busy day, it may be difficult. So even if it means downloading a water tracker app to track the amount of water you drink throughout the period, is very important. The second point is to remember to not skip meals and to eat on time. Eating on time would actually help you to feel fuller for a longer period without overeating or binge eating later on in the evening. Skipping meals as well could actually put you at risk of low blood sugars throughout the day, especially if you're pre-diabetic or already have diabetes. The third point is to remember to practice portion control. Yes, this may be difficult during this time because of course we want to eat every and anything. However, weight gain during this time, according to research, happens very quickly because, of course, there is a lot more calories we are intaking, or a lot more caloric intake that is happening. So what you may want to do is try as much as possible to fill half of your plate with vegetables, have your complex carbs, as well as your protein sources. You don't have to eat dessert with your meal. You could save that for later on in the day. You don't have to also have a plate of desserts. You can have one at a time. Remember, if it is you are diabetic or at risk of any chronic diseases, to speak to your doctor and registered dietitian for proper guidelines that you can follow during this time. The fourth point is to remember to plan ahead. Planning ahead could help you from overindulging, as well as planning a better or a balanced meal. So for instance, if you know that you are very busy tomorrow, you can pre-prep breakfast or lunch for tomorrow just so that you have a fill-in meal. Remember to combine your meals with complex carbs, lean sources of protein, and vegetables to help balance the sugar throughout the day. Mindful eating is very important. So instead of eating very quickly, try to eat slower in smaller portions. So instead of using a very big plate, use a smaller plate. And when you are full, it's okay to not have to eat the entire plate. You can actually stop eating and save the rest for later. Dr. Tiloxing would have mentioned a very important point this week. The virus is on the high, and it's important to have a proper immune system. Give your body the nutrients it needs to function. Supplementation may not be necessary in cases where you have a healthy, balanced diet, and following a Mediterranean type diet high in fruits, vegetables, lean sources of protein, good fats and oils can actually help you to prevent this. So remember, get your vitamin C in, vitamin E, vitamin D from the sunlight, and remember to speak to your healthcare provider. I would like to take this time to wish each and every one of you season's greetings, a very Merry Christmas, and a happy, wonderful, prosperous, and safe New Year. You can contact me at 479-2271 for more information.
And we say once more special thank you to Miss Nandini Samuel. We appreciate your love, service, and support. And season's greetings to you and your family. You know the drill. One question, one right answer, and you could be our next lucky winner. Healthy joints, a happy heart, and prizes you love. The giveaway segment with the compliments of Great Health Works is coming up next.
Christmas is not just a day. It's a feeling passed down from heart to heart. Moments like these stay with us forever. A single gift can light up a lifetime of memories. And sometimes we get to create the magic ourselves, because every home deserves something special. A spark that says, this is us. From the smallest details to the grandest celebrations, woven together into something unforgettable. Because Christmas is meant to be shared with those we love most. Love makes Christmas shine, and what we pass down becomes part of who we are. and some traditions never fade. Bright ideas where moments are made magical.
The countdown has started for the hottest ticket ever, the Queen's Royal College 3-car raffle.
Pretty Christmas.
First prize is a luxurious, fully loaded Royal Ride Ford Ranger. Draw date Saturday, December 20th at the school. Tickets only $100. All proceeds for the further uplifting of the school. Tickets available from teachers, parents, alumni, and of the school. Also at islandetickets.com.
Bobby's Bar, Belmont.
Better Homes, Front Street and Caroni.
ADM Supermarket, Rima.
Docs Hardware, Diggle Martin Main Road.
ABC Windows and Doors, El Socorro.
Freddy's Bakery, Western Main Road, St. James. And 4 Roads, Diggle Martin.
Mode Alive.
Farmer Supermarket, Santa Cruz.
Sonar Jewelers, Chaguanas, and Pinal.
Island Hobbies, Wrightson Road.
The Express, Minimart, Majuba Crossroads.
Stacy Supermarket, Toco.
Leo Rain Hardware, Stradley Grove. ADC Supermarket, Arima.
Final purchase date this Tuesday, December 16th.
Don't be lucky and coward. Get your tickets now.
Queen's Royal College Christmas 3-car raffle.
Parang with Rome is on. We're heading to Cipriani College, Valsayn on Saturday, December 20th for the most festive lime of the season, featuring Marcia Miranda, Crazy, Eddie Charles, plus Nyla Blackman, Alison Hines, and the Prince of Soca Parang himself, it's Rome. And that's not all. Live Parang vibes from Los Alumnos de San Juan. Get your tickets now. IslandEtickets.com or call 4TICKET. That's 484-2538.
Welcome back to CNC3's Ask the Doctor. It's giveaway time with the compliments of Great Health Works. A special hello to Joseph Sandel and the rest of his brilliant team, especially my old pal, Mr. Carlton Warner, who says that I must make sure that I mention that Morva Laventee, always locked in to Ask the Doctor. Love and blessings to the entire crew that is tuned into this program. So the numbers on the screen, and as a reminder, when you're patched into the studio, listen on your telephone rather than the TV set, because there is a delay that creates confusion. And as we approach Christmas, but there's always some talk and hymns and stories about a baby wrapped in swaddling cloth in a manger. And our question is relevant to this. What is the term for the fine, soft, downy hair that covers a newborn baby? So the fine, soft, downy hair that covers a newborn baby. Good evening and welcome to Ask the Doctor. Thank you for joining us, and season's greetings.
Hi, good night. Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.
I must say I'm unable to answer the question. I'll give somebody else a chance.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Love and blessings to you nonetheless, and best wishes. So that soft, downy hair, it's a bit of a tricky one as we think about that babe wrapped in swaddling cloth, and indeed newborn babies. I'll give you all a hint. So if you know Latin, lana is the Latin word for wool. So it's derived from that word, lana, the Latin word for wool. So that soft, downy hair, it may be found on the face, the head, sometimes the back and shoulders. That soft, downy hair seen in newborns. Hello. Good evening and welcome to our show.
Lenogo.
Congratulations. Lanugo is the name of that soft hair found in newborns. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of our Ask the Doctor family. Have you tried these supplements before?
No.
So there's a first time for everything. Stay on the line because we want to take some of your personal information off the air.
No problem.
Best wishes to you and your family during the Christmas season and into 2026. It's time for a short break, and when we return, there'll be more of your questions and answers on the open forum.
This Christmas, the season of savings is here at Food Shoppers Supermarket, 121 Eastern Main Road, Arima, the J Chai Trading Compound. Enjoy unbeatable prices plus buy one get one deals on select items. Shop in comfort with wide, easy to browse aisles, spacious parking, and a clean, cool, fully stocked supermarket every day. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for updates and festive events. For the latest deals and prices, join our WhatsApp channel. Christmas starts with Food Shoppers. Food Shoppers Supermarket, bringing you love.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
This Christmas, every home has a story. Tell yours with bright ideas. From sparkling trees, beautiful decor, and dazzling lights to curtains, flowers, tableware, appliances, gifts, and gadgets. Everything you need is right here at unbeatable prices. Massive savings, special deals, low prices you won't find anywhere else. So step inside and see why everyone's saying it's where moments are made magical. Why wait? It's Santa's Workshop, just with better parking. Turn your home into a holiday wonderland and your moments into memories with Bright Ideas. Visit Bright Ideas, where moments are made magical.
Are you battling diabetes, infertility, heart disease, or vision loss? Oxidative stress may be the hidden culprit, damaging cells and disrupting vital functions. The answer: antioxidants. Introducing N-Toxyl Forte, the super multi-antioxidant formula. With powerful ingredients like glutathione to detox and boost immunity, superoxide dismutase to neutralize free radicals, lutein and zeaxanthin to protect vision, and carotenoids to fight inflammation. Choose N-Toxyl Forte for powerful antioxidant support. Available now at pharmacies nationwide.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
It's Christmas time, let the fiesta begin. Basket Superstore, come and step right in. Pots and pans shining, cookware so bright. Mini appliances ready for your Christmas night. Pretty decorations, dancing with cheer. Toys for the children waiting right here. Curtains and bedding, sparkle and flow. Everything to make your home glow. Arima Golf View, Pino come true. Bring alegria and Christmas to you. Food Basket Superstore, shine so bright. Big deals, big joy, everything right. Food Basket Superstore, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Welcome back to CNC3's Ask the Doctor. The phone lines are open. We'd love to hear from you. The numbers are on the screen. And as a reminder, listen on your telephone rather than the TV set. As to open the batting this evening, we head to Princestown. Good evening.
Good afternoon, Doc.
Thank
Good
you.
night, Doc. I have two questions.
Certainly, ma'am.
A diabetic, I take insulin N and R.
Yes.
I took my R, took my N, and my sugar went up to 285.
Yes, ma'am.
And the other question is that what happened, I had multiple strokes on my head, and I'm very, very dizzy. I'd like to know a neurologist to go to in South area. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, and thank you for two very interesting questions. So, and for the sake of our viewers, when we're talking about the scourge of diabetes with more than 550 million people battling this illness, and perhaps 1 in 2 may not be aware that they have the diagnosis, you want to ensure that you're protecting eyes, kidneys, nerves, and the heart. And she mentioned about a potential catastrophic complication of diabetes, a stroke. Most persons persons may have a blockage to the main vessel in the brain, and that may, of course, affect things like speech, movement, sometimes the way that we receive information based on what part of the brain is affected. Hypertension, diabetes, high lipids, your cholesterol levels elevated, smokers, increasing body weight, if you have a sedentary lifestyle, increasing age, a family history of stroke, some immune-mediated problems, all increase the chance of inflammation in the arteries and thus the risk for stroke. And a minority of persons, about 20%, may have a bleed in the brain in which there's rupture of a blood vessel. That's called a hemorrhagic stroke. But the majority of people have what we refer to as an ischemic stroke if you're a person battling type 2 diabetes. There are numerous neurologists who are specialists handling problems affecting the brain and spinal cord in the southern part of the island. Perhaps the best option may be the neurology clinic. Now, I'm unsure if following the diagnosis of your stroke, if you had certain tests like an ultrasound scan to the arteries in the neck, because if you have plaque there, this may be treated in a certain way, sometimes surgically. You may have had a scan of your heart, an ultrasound of the heart, and that also could reveal a potential reason for a stroke apart from diabetes. So we're not attempting to make a diagnosis on the basis of a phone call, but there is an excellent neurology clinic available at San Fernando Hospital. So within the southwest region, Sando General has a free neurology clinic, and you can be referred from the Princestown district to such. And they will be able to advise whether there are certain medications and perhaps if there is another reason for why you're having dizziness, because the watchword is prevention. You want to ensure that you don't have one of those events in the future affecting the brain. Back to your first question, which involved the use of insulin N and R, so which are freely available on CDAP. So the N is a medium-acting insulin. It may be administered twice a day, and the R is rapid-acting, some persons perhaps 3 times daily. And it's all based on when these insulins peak and the duration that they stay into the system. One size doesn't fit all. Some people may be insulin resistant, so as a result of increasing body weight, is there a darkening to the neck, the knuckles, or the armpit? Those are clinical markers on the skin that suggest resistance to insulin, circulating levels, and even when administered. Some people may need a tablet to work with the injections of insulin. Sometimes you're left on metformin. There are some novel drugs too, particularly in people who've had strokes, called the SGLT2 inhibitors, so that's the long term, and these drugs work at the kidney to excrete sugar in the urine, but they have bonus effects. They don't only work on blood sugar, they also reduce the chance of some of these complications of diabetes, particularly the heart, stroke risk, and even the kidneys. So have a chat with your doctor if you need to tweak the dose of the insulin, specifically N and R, or if you need to be prescribed a tablet that will work in conjunction with this life-saving medication. All geared towards ensuring that your hemoglobin A1C, which is your sugar for the last 3 months, remains under immaculate control. Our next call is from the East, as Aruka is on the line. Good evening.
Hi, good night.
Welcome, ma'am. It's a pleasure. Season's greetings.
Same to you. I'm calling to find out about anxiety.
Yes.
Can it affect the brain if left untreated, or will medication rectify it? And also, what can be done to treat the anxiety itself? What treatments are available? Thank you.
You're most welcome. Fascinating bag of questions there. With respect to, as we mentioned in the opening salvo, a separate pandemic. We spoke about COVID, and perhaps since 2020, we've seen that there has been a surge in anxiety, not just in persons who are in the working world. We're seeing it in children, in school-aged children now. We mentioned some of the symptoms, like apart from the nervousness, palpitations, sweating, sometimes a weakness or lethargy that may come as part of the anxiety spectrum. We're seeing problems with sleep, a reduced appetite, memory, concentration issues, self-esteem, and this actually tends to coexist with depression. So anxiety is not a lone wolf. It hunts with depression. And sometimes non-drug ways would be the first step. You'd want to chat with your primary care doctor. Is there a trigger to sometimes situations which may exacerbate anxiety? It may be linked to an imbalance of some of the hormones or the chemicals in the brain. Is your thyroid hyperactive, so that little gland in the neck shaped like a butterfly that may sometimes pour hormones out into the body, associated with a tremor, weight loss, sweating, nervousness, anxiety, menstrual problems, and emotional changes? So you may want to consider some basic blood tests, a full blood count, your kidney, liver function, and throw in a thyroid function test in people who may be battling this very common diagnosis. Non-drug ways, including exercise, just regular physical activity, to explore the great outdoors in this wonderful isle, 30 to 60 minutes for most days in the week, just to improve symptoms. Try to see if you can practice mindfulness in the new year as one of our resolutions. If there are situations, how do we respond to such that may be worsening anxiety? If there are certain persons, how do we respond to these individuals that may be toxic and sometimes may be battling underlying psychiatric illnesses when exposed to us? How do we deal with someone who is battling anxiety but seems trapped perhaps in a household environment? Reach out to a trusted friend, a spiritual leader, perhaps a family member whom you can actually discuss your symptoms. And of course, your doctor is always there to decide whether medications are available, because left untreated, these also contribute to problems such as raised blood sugar, because your hormones change. So some of your steroid hormones are elevated, adrenaline becomes high, and your blood sugar, your blood pressure will start rising. Some people find there's weight gain because as part of anxiety, they eat differently, sometimes later at night, or perhaps foods that may be high in calories, sugar, or fat. Think about music, meditation, yoga, situations that may work for you to alleviate this battle. It's an internal battle. Winston Churchill used to call the problems of anxiety and depression like a black dog that constantly nipped at his heels when he was the Prime Minister of England. But reach out for help. It can definitely start affecting your memory. You'd want to have a chat with your doctor about whether there's an underlying medical illness which may contribute towards anxiety. Certain drinks which contain caffeine, as we spoke about, may also be creating a situation in which your symptoms are worse, like a tremor or palpitation. Ensuring that the thyroid is not hyperactive, trying non-drug ways, and then there are certainly medications which are available to manage anxiety, highly treatable, but perhaps should be monitored in a clinical setting. Our next caller hails from St. James. Good evening and welcome to our show. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to Ask the Doctor. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Welcome. You're on the air.
Yes,
go right
me?
ahead. Thank you for being part of our Ask the Doctor family. You're loud and clear. Go ahead.
Hi. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Listen on your telephone rather than the TV set.
I'm just calling to get some guidance. So I'm getting a lot of... Okay, so I'm getting a lot of pain like under my this heel, like when it is I'm walking too. So there's a lot of pain under the heel, and like the heel, no matter how much I soak it, like in Epsom salt or do a soak, it come out. It like the skin actually by the heel just dry, but I can't walk on the foot good. So I can't really exercise all of that good because of the pain in the right foot.
Yes, ma'am.
Bad pain underneath the heel and sometimes cramps in the body on the calves and things. But the main problem is the heel.
The heel.
Yeah, it's giving me a lot of pain.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you very much for taking the time to call in, because that's a very common problem. And Sometimes you're limping. Sometimes the heel itself becomes quite inflamed. We're not attempting to diagnose, but very commonly, particularly persons like you who may be fit and active or standing for long periods, find that they develop what is called a heel spur, or the heel pad becomes inflamed. The medical term that you may wish to Google is plantar fasciitis. So I know you've used some home remedies, and I'm assuming that you may have tried some basic rubs or anti-inflammatories which may alleviate symptoms, but you want to determine what exactly is the underlying cause to your heel pain. Sometimes the cramps in the legs may represent problems with circulation or muscular spasms due to underlying illnesses. Have a chat with your primary care doctor about some basic blood investigations. Sometimes we send people for an x-ray of the heel. So even if you present into the local health center, they may be able to refer to an orthopedic clinic at the Port of Spain Hospital to determine whether an injection of an anti-inflammatory is needed. In this case, a steroid shot may provide long-term and almost immediate relief. Patients are also advised to seek proper footwear, sometimes an inner sole, which involves a heel cup that will sort of absorb that pressure when you're standing, is also a prudent non-drug way. So there may be anti-inflammatories. Have a chat with the pharmacist or the primary care doctor. An inner sole, particularly with a heel cup, looking at the sort of shoes that you may be using at work or if you're out during the season, because these may also worsen pain. And if you're interested about an orthopedic specialist, that anti-inflammatory injection or steroid is sometimes very useful in the management of heel pain. But looking at the underlying cause before we move into that sort of intervention is always prudent. A podiatrist, who is a specialist handling problems affecting the feet, is sometimes quite a useful advisor in terms of what sort of shoe or slipper will be great around the home or at work. That's such a common issue. And of course, apart from the rubs, the creams, having someone at home massage your foot may help, but we want to determine whether there is something else that could be accounting for it. So a heel spur or plantar fasciitis are the commonest reasons we see in clinical practice for someone who's having persistent heel pain. St. James is still on the line. Thank you for waiting, and good evening. Go right ahead.
Hi, good night.
Hello, yes. Go right
Good
ahead.
night.
We were speaking a little bit about your heel pain.
No. I'm not that caller. I'm calling back again about the anxiety.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So I am on medication, but I don't know why I'm still worrying a lot of worries. And it makes me feel really, well, I don't know if it's the medication, but I feel really sleepy. That's all I feel to do, lay down and sleep. I have no motivation to work. It's very difficult to focus, and it's a challenge. I've been reaching to work a bit late.
Yes.
Hence, I'm asking if medication is a good option for it. Just wanted to know what other options are there to treat the anxiety or to deal with anxiety.
Thank you very much for taking the time once more to discuss this difficult issue of anxiety. And you are so right that the medications may actually make you groggy, drowsy. Sometimes it may exacerbate things like memory problems or confusion. I'm assuming that you would have chatted with either a primary care doctor or a psychiatrist to have been prescribed a drug for anxiety. Now, there are drugs which are sleeping tablets or sedatives that help short-term in anxiety, but there's a potential for addiction. There are other medications which are less likely to have you drowsy during the course of the day, and some are actually part of the CDAP program, including sertraline or fluoxetine. So sertraline is a new part of that program that was part of the therapeutic armamentarium in the management of depression or anxiety. But once more, have a chat with your doctor. The non-drug ways and some of the herbal remedies are useful. But if it's starting to affect your quality of life and indeed your occupation, it may be time to consider something else. So sleeping pills, sedatives or tranquilizers help short term if you're having an acute anxiety attack, if you're in a state of panic or problems with insomnia. But because of the addictive potential, we recommend short-term use. But there are other drugs sometimes we need to chop and change with respect to the long-term management, perhaps during the course of 6 months to a year, or even longer in persons with chronic disease. You may want to have a chat with specifically a psychiatrist about altering the dose of the medication or even changing one that would be useful and not affect your work. Of course, this feeling of lethargy, a groggy sensation, or just a loss of motivation to go to work is also part of the illness. So whether it's part of the underlying diagnosis of anxiety is unclear. Try to look at certain situations which may be triggers, and it's difficult, especially if work or somebody at the home is exacerbating the situation. Look for triggers, see if these can be eliminated or your response. We spoke about non-drug forms of intervention like exercise, meditation, yoga, just reaching out to a friend or family member to see whether this can be battled in different ways. So it sounds like therapy in terms of speaking with a counselor or psychologist may be part of the treatment, but if medication needs to be changed, this should be done in consultation with your psychiatrist, and of course having you at the center of that consultation. Our next caller is from Arima. Good evening and welcome to our show.
Good evening, Dr. Tillotson, to you and your team.
Thank you, ma'am, and season's greetings.
Season's greetings to you too. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You started off earlier on with your study that was highlighted in France about postpartum.
Yes, ma'am.
You just spoke about the anxiety. This falls in that kind of category. It's about menopause.
Yes.
In Breaking in Stereotypes on CNC3, they've been talking about it, but I'm hoping that you're able to put on a segment with regard to that and perimenopause. Because my concern is the fluctuations in people's hormones.
Yes.
In different times of life, and the problems or misunderstanding of a lot of women. You have such a wide reach. And I think, it may help other people too in identifying. My main question is, in menopause, or naturally at around 60 or whatever, or surgical menopause,
yes,
the hormones are depleted. Could it be that during perimenopause, whether it's through polycystic ovary syndrome or any other thing, that the hormone is depleted? Is there a way of identifying, because there are younger women who are going through terrible situations, being misdiagnosed and living with it? The other part of my question is, because of your internal medicine training, what role does the pituitary gland have in the female in terms of the hormones that are female-oriented and the moods and that type of thing? Thank you.
Yes, well, you're most welcome. And we have explored this topic on Ask the Doctor, particularly around World Menopause Day. So it included a guest on the Medical Minds, and as part of our segments in the month of October, apart from breast cancer awareness, World Menopause Day falls during that period, and we'll continue to do so in 2026 because of the symptoms that tend to be associated with this change of life. And you're right that at that perimenopausal stage, when you have a declining level of estrogen, apart from some of the long-term effects like thin bones or an increased risk for heart disease, women may find that they have those hot flashes, mood abnormalities, dryness to the vagina, skin changes, and in general, non-specific symptoms ranging from depression and anxiety. Now, it's important to not just chat with your gynecologist at that phase, but also your primary care doctor or internal medicine physician about some basic blood investigations. Apart from the fact that chronic diseases may rear their heads at that time in your 50s, and most of the persons where the average age is perhaps 50 to 55, in which you may find that the symptoms begin, or even earlier, you may want to do some basic blood investigations. I always mention the thyroid as being one that should be evaluated, because the symptoms are non-specific, and an underactive thyroid may reflect such. The pituitary gland is the master gland at the base of the brain. In last week's show, we spoke about it, the fact that it regulates the various glands, sending messages so that hormones are released into the bloodstream to exhibit effects on target organs. In this case, declining levels of estrogen in the ovaries will send a message through the pituitary gland. So there is a blood test called the follicular stimulating hormone, or FSH, that is an integral part of the menstrual cycle. When you have low levels of estrogen, that level becomes high. So it's sometimes a useful test if you're unclear in someone in the early stages of this change of life. So the gynecologist may consider doing an FSH test. The luteinizing hormone, or LH, is made by the pituitary gland and also impacts as part of the menstrual cycle. It may not be relevant in this case if somebody stops seeing their period and would be experiencing the classic symptoms of menopause. It's not necessary to do a blood investigation in all persons. Polycystic ovary syndrome tends to be an issue in women of reproductive age, associated with hair growth, acne, increasing body weight, insulin resistance, and irregular cycles. Of course, there's an increased risk for type 2 diabetes, hypertension, fatty liver issues, and high cholesterol. So that could be another battle sometimes in younger women. And in fact, it's the commonest hormonal problem in that particular age group. So the problems of menopause are legion. We will be discussing in the future, but it means you haven't been watching all of our episodes. So look back, because they are freely available on my wall and also on the CNC3 Facebook pages. So if you're interested, around that month of October, we did discuss World Menopause Day and some of the complications associated with such. The article that followed that dealt with this change of life. Fantastic question, and kudos to all of our callers. Brilliant, insightful points on this evening's show. But parting is always such sweet sorrow. Our closing quote is from that classic from Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. I thought it would be relevant as we approach this holy and glorious season. For it is good to be children sometimes, and never better than at Christmas, when its mighty founder was a child himself. In just one line, Dickens captures the heart of Christmas, the invitation to return to innocence, wonder, and simplicity. To be children again is not about age, it is about spirit. It is about seeing the world with curiosity instead of cynicism, joy instead of judgment, and hope instead of heaviness. Christmas, after all, began not with power or splendor, but with a child in a manger. Thank you for trusting me to walk beside you each week, in your homes and in your hearts. To my team behind the lens, to the luminaries Neela and baby Daniel, and to you, our viewers, stay strong, stay curious, and never stop choosing kindness. Until next week, may God bless you and keep you in His care. We'll see you then on Ask the Doctor.
Ask the Doctor is brought to you in part by Alive, by Nature's Way, distributed by H&J Enterprises, and XL Health TT, the official supplements of the CPL.